Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. My name is Joanna and my passion is to help you get you through and past your limitations. These are going to be your messages for September. For those of you who are a regular for my channel, you'll notice I did not upload any August videos, hence why these videos are quite a bit longer. There was a lot of information that I channeled through. So if you can't watch it all at once, maybe break it into pieces. If you need to just get moving into the videos, I'll put a stamp down below so that you don't have to listen to the record to this part. But I want to say a few things. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of my channel. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for always inspiring me and encouraging me to be the best at what I do. And you'll notice my work is changing. It has been changing for a while, but it's more apparent than any time before that the way I work is shifting and changing. So consequently, over the next few months, you will notice that the way my videos are coming out are a little bit different, or the way the messages are coming out in my videos are a little bit different. There seems to be a greater emphasis on healing, so there will be some energetic healing that will come through. I will talk about that more a little bit later on a different video. But more than anything, there seems to be a bit of a shift in terms of how I receive messages and also what types of messages want to come through me. So if you have watched my videos for a while, you may see a bit of a change. I feel to me, it's incredible. The change is always good. Change is not always easy. But nonetheless, I feel the way things are going to progress going forward is the messages will be maybe even much more meaningful, even though I find that they're meaningful anyways, and many of you find my messages meaningful. I feel it's going to be even more meaningful. There's going to be a lot more that I will be channeling through to you. Speaking of channeling, I have noticed more and more that I am beginning to use less and less visuals, as in cards, and much more channeling. So you will notice in some of the videos that I have cards, but I barely talk about the cards. I show them here and there, but most of the messages are channeled. I feel that's eventually how my messages will come through. They will probably be mostly channeled with maybe some visuals, some tools, but long time ago Spirit told me that eventually my work is going to consist of channeling information and not really reading cards. So you'll see that coming through more and more as time goes on. And is there anything else I wanted to say? Yes, the 6-month messages, which are on Vimeo from July until the end of this year, there's a link down there below for you. And more than anything, if this doesn't make sense to you because it is general, then listen to it down the road, or even end of September or even October. I often mention that these messages flow way beyond a certain month. So I wouldn't be surprised if the messages you hear in September cover September, October, and November, even towards the end of the year. So keep that in mind. Also, some messages may not make sense to you at all because they are general, and I can only cover so many scenarios in a general situation. With that said, if anything resonates with you, or if you feel pulled towards having more of a personal session with me, that information is down below, and I trust you know how to find me. And again, I want to thank you for being part of my channel. Without you, I wouldn't do this. My gratitude goes out to you, and I love hearing your comments. I love reading your comments, and yeah, I hope you enjoy these videos and all the other videos that follow. And with that said, let's move on into each individual sign. Hello, beautiful sign of Libra. These are going to be your messages for the next little while, from whenever you hear it until, let's say, September. But what I've been getting from most of the other signs is that it's going to stretch over 2 or 3 month period. So I would suspect that whatever this covers, you will be able to feel it, or to know it, to understand it. September, and then maybe even in October. There's so many things coming at me, and I'm trying to see where do I want to focus first, which is that typical for Libra? Libra is a thinker, right? So I have Libra in one of my, I don't know if it's rising or my moon sign, one of those two. So I have a lot of balancing issues with my mind. Where was I going with this? What I'm excited about more than anything, that when I tuned into your energy, and when I said, what is this month going to be about, month or thereabouts, I heard restorative period, restorative period. And I went, okay, I think they're going to like that. So what does restorative period mean? To me, it signifies rest from something that has been, and whatever it has been, it was complicated. Now, what can fit into complicated category? Pretty much anything. So whatever your complication has been, whatever you have been dealing with for a while, whatever has left you feeling anxious or unable to sleep or that sort of thing. It feels like September, in particular September, maybe for some of you even the end of August, whenever you're hearing this, it's going to feel like things are starting to calm down a little bit. The energy I feel with this, it's almost, imagine being in a warm bathtub, here's my English for you, and the water is just perfect. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just perfect, and you're just sitting there, and you may have lavender oil and some candles, and it's just that's how it feels for me, for you. And I'll tell you, that is not how every single sign felt. So I'm excited about this because this is also my sign, like I said, and I have been going through a lot of ups and downs because of my own transformation. So I am liking what what I see. Not to mention that you actually did get the mental transformation card. How perfect is that? Okay. So I'm being asked to look at the symbology here. 9 and 4 is 13, which is 4. 9 represents letting go, sometimes endings. 4 represents stability and foundation. So you're not letting go of stability. You're letting go of aspects that were fundamentally, how do I say this? You're letting go of old programming. Thank you. That's how I'm going to say it. That was easy. And next time I should just ask. Oh, okay. There's a message here for you, because I said next time I should ask. It was that easy, and I heard you should. So are some of you stubborn? I've been accused of being stubborn. I call it determined. But are some of you stubborn? Chances are you are, because this message is for you. And if you're one of those that always does things for themselves, or it's always, you always know the best, it's, you control who does everything, you do. And maybe if you're not good at asking for help, then this might give you the opportunity to become much more relaxed about asking for help. So that's interesting. Now, then if you are one of those people who's shy about asking for help because it stems from feeling of inferiority, or what's another way of saying it? If you believe you are worth very little, you will have difficulty asking for others' time. Another word, you don't feel worthy. Is this something that's on top of your head every day? No. Chances are 98% that it's a deep subconscious aspect of you, but that has been causing you some limitations. And my passion and my fascination and what I'm really good at is helping you see your limitations and helping you move past it. So I love what I'm hearing, particularly the restoration. It is beautiful. You have 2 cards that are basically the same thing from completely different decks, and it's 2 of Cups. And both in upright position, okay? And I'll explain to you why they showed up. Oh, no, so that's not Two of Cups. Well, that's actually called it's coming together, but to me, it's the same as Two of Cups. It is a relationship. But before, and this guy represents the future, okay? I want to say end of this year, beginning of next year, okay? This guy represents now, month of September, of October. So for some of you, you might jump into an ecstasy, thinking that you are going to meet somebody, your soulmate, over the next few months. And you know what? It absolutely could be. However, for more of you than not, this is representing the relationship you have with yourself, first and foremost. And when your relationship with yourself is good, when you are fundamentally good to you, when you are okay with who you are, then you are in a perfect position to attract somebody like that. So I feel like the message is kind of twofold. So what is this month about for you, or the next few months? It is literally about a relationship. For some of you, it is about a commitment, okay? Commitment you have to somebody else, a person. For some of you, it could be job, something that emotionally fulfills you. And but again, most of you, this is a commitment you have with yourself. Now, why would this be coming up? Because the relationship you have with yourself is generally the relationship the same relationship you have with the world. So the more how do I want to say this? The more in tune you are with yourself, the more in tune you are with yourself, the more likely you are to go after what you want. Okay, that is how I want to say it. There's something else that's trying to come out of this card as a message. I'm looking at these two people and I want to say, what do they have in common? And I hear they can both see each other. What does that mean? They're not hiding from one another. Okay, so this is a message for some of you that says you've been hiding from yourself. Okay, what does it mean to hide from yourself? It means that you are not allowing aspects of you to come to the forefront for whatever reason. Usually it's because you are afraid, or you're trying to prevent something from happening. Okay. That's really interesting. I wasn't expecting this message to flow this way. It just tells you, and it's a message for me, watch those expectations. Watch those expectations. We often get what we expect. The problem is, often what we expect subconsciously, we are not aware of. So if we are not aware of our subconscious expectations, and we continually keep on attracting things that aren't working, then it's time to look at what's going on inside. What aspects of you is preventing you from getting what you want. So that is how I see this card. Overall, remember, the next month or so is restorative month, which means a lot more peace and a lot more harmony and a lot less anxiousness, which means the relationship you have with yourself is about to change. It also means the relationship you have with somebody else is about to change. There is a feeling of harmony here. That is what I get more than anything. Okay, I'm not done yet. For some of you, this message represents you being able to psychically see. By trusting yourself, you're able to psychically see. By trusting yourself, so you have to trust yourself to see. Okay, let me unpack that one. This is going to be for some of you, for those of you who are healers. When you are confident in your abilities, you will trust what you see here, okay? So if your job is a psychic healer, for example, where you are able to see things, but you are not confident enough in yourself, then that lack of confidence will hold you back in terms of how you express what you see. So I'll give an example of me. If my relationship with myself sucks, if I constantly doubt myself, if I constantly pick myself apart, if I constantly compare myself to others, if I constantly do things that go against what I want, which is inner peace, then my ability to flow this information through me is minimized. I can have an amazing gift. In fact, we all do. Every single human being, we're born with it. It comes to us naturally. Let me rephrase it. We're all born with it. To some, it comes naturally. To some, it doesn't. And for some, it's just a matter of believing. Point is, if I'm not able to be in a right state of mind, if I doubt, if I'm anxious, then I can have a phenomenal gift that could be out of this world. I'm not going to trust myself enough to express it. And if I can't express it, what good is it going to do to you? Or what good is it going to be to you, right? So this is a message to some of you. You are meant to hear it this way. So I will presume that for some of you, it's you are changing the relationship you have with yourself because you are a healer and you are moving more into healing modalities. So that could be a change of a job for you. And for others, it's just recognizing that aspect of yourself, that there is a healer within you, and it is an aspect of you that's noteworthy. That's an interesting statement, noteworthy. Okay, I like this. So what are some of the energies that are supporting you in the next couple of months? Well, you have the rabbit and you have the whale, and I will tell you what each one means to me. And this is kind of how they landed, okay? I'm not looking, and they're both, this is earth element and this is water, obviously. I am not looking at the description of the cards as is in the book because I want to just purely channel it. So rabbit to me represents curiosity, but also nervousness. All right. So does that mean that there is a lot of nervous energy that's supporting you this month? No, because I said at the beginning that this is a time for taking a break. This is almost like, when I first saw this card, I heard borderline between fear and curiosity. So this is a very explorative card for me. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, being driven by your curiosity, but not to the point where it's scary. And what I mean by that, stepping out of your comfort zone. I want to ask for an explanation. Okay, so one, okay, let's use a healer as an example. So the example is, I see a person who has amazing healing abilities, and they have been opening up to this ability, and it's really strong and really pronounced. However, the person is kind of sort of afraid. The person is not afraid of their abilities. The person is afraid of being judged for having these extraordinary abilities. And why would someone be judged? Well, because if those abilities come in unconventional packaging, whatever that means, then there is a chance of being ostracized. Those are the words I'm being asked to say. So with this example, this person is afraid of letting those gifts out. And the person would really like to use those gifts on a regular basis, but they're not going to quit their job being terrified that they're going to be ostracized when they don't feel very comfortable in who they are. So the middle point is they're not quitting their job, but they're choosing to use their gifts in such a way that still keeps them safe. So for example, with the said person, the person decides to express his or her gifts with friends only, or with people who are in a close circle, or even people on Facebook who are familiars. So the person is allowing him or herself to express that element of who they are, but under safe conditions. So they're still stepping out of their comfort zone, but they're not, it's not so far out of the comfort zone that it's threatening. So that is the example I want to give you. And even just giving that example, my throat is throbbing. So for some of you, this is you coming out of a closet with something. It could be a gift of yours. It could be you literally coming out of a closet. Whatever it is, there is a curiosity that's borderline danger, but not because it's bad. It's just, I think the example with healing I gave was perfect. So this is an energy that's supporting you. Now, how does this fit with being restorative? Because even though it is coming out, or it's trying something that's stepping out of your comfort zone, it doesn't feel threatening to me. So whatever this means to you, it could mean literally anything. I have a feeling I'm tapping into a substantial number of you who are healers, okay, who consider themselves the healers, or who don't consider themselves a healers but have healing abilities. Whatever that is. For others of you, it's just stepping out of your comfort zone. Obviously, the red here, it is the color of the first chakra. So it's all safety, security. I mean, we're always driven by safety and security, of course, because our ego needs to protect us, okay? So that's kind of how I'm going to leave it. Now, the other card is the whale. To me, whale is all about depth of information. Subconscious aspect, the depth of your consciousness or higher consciousness, diving deep into your consciousness. Incidentally, I'm also hearing that this is a message of being a healer, being able to go deep inside a person and affect change in a healing way, in a positive way, from in a very deep way. I just want to say the word subconscious. So hypnotherapy would be a great example of that. I'm also a hypnotherapist. I also have a Libra as my son, so that makes sense. For some of you, this is going to be hypnotherapy. Now, for some of you, it means that you may be looking at hypnotherapy to address some of your unresolved fears, as in stepping out of your comfort zone because you're afraid of being ostracized, for example. Okay. For some of you, you might be thinking or feeling that you might like to become a practitioner of hypnotherapy or hypnosis. For some of you, this is you exploring your consciousness through hypnosis. This could be MP3s. This could be, I mean, YouTube has a gazillion hypnotherapy sessions or videos. There's an exploring here. There's incidentally the example that was given to me when they said restorative period. The example of being in a bath in a water. Well, here's the water again. There's some comfort here. Not to say that when we dig deep into subconscious layers, it's comfortable, because oftentimes it's not comfortable. But those deep layers, however uncomfortable they are a gold of information. I mean, the mind fascinates me. So that is the message for some of you. This is, again, an energy that's very supportive of you. So if you have any conditions, an anxiety, anything of that sort, anything that's been bugging you, any fears that you have that's been holding you back, and you happen to be a healer, you don't want to be held back, chances are there will be hypnotherapy somehow comes in, or alternative ways of healing by looking at the subconscious mind or the depth of your mind. Okay, let me just keep going. So what are you leaving behind? The 7 of Cups shows up, or 8, my apologies. To me, this is moving on. And what does this message mean in terms of what you're leaving behind? anything that you have been resisting letting go of over the next, particularly 6 months, you will have ample opportunities of letting that go. I have noticed with every single sign, you're my 8th sign, that the next 6 months is somehow critical. I have been told by spirit in my own meditations for me, but it's consistent with my clients and it's consistent with these messages for September. So chances are you have been working on whatever it is that you're thinking about right now, and you're ready to let it go. And the reason why you're ready to let it go, because the next card is Sun. It's also in a position of what you're leaving. For many of you, you had some sort of illumination not that long ago. So you may have had an epiphany. You may have had an epiphany about a relationship that you have with yourself subconsciously, and by recognizing the relationship you have had with yourself subconsciously, your whole life began to change, because you all of a sudden everything began to make sense. So this to me represents you're not leaving happiness behind, you're not leaving clarity behind, but something was made clear to you in the last little while. Now, I am recording this on August 15th. So anytime August 15th and before, you may have received some sort of illumination. I'm going to ask how it came for you, for some of you. So for some of you, this came directly through your meditation. For some of you, this came through a healing or something like a Reiki session. For others of you, this came while you were listening to something, perhaps even a video of mine or somebody else. And for others is you have attended some sort of a workshop, and it's a workshop or some, almost like a rally, I want to say, a rally, really interesting, where there's group of people is there because somebody's presenting something, and it's there's a heightened awareness that comes with whatever is being presented. So those are some of the examples. So if you haven't had that, then chances are it's going to happen over the next little while. And remember, it's not just for September, it's covering a little bit more, but I'm calling it September. Where is this leading you? Well, the Four of Cups comes up, which means, to me, it's a card of transition. To me, it's a card of being in a good place, but something is missing, okay? And I don't necessarily see anything bad, but it's almost like, what do I want? Everything is fine. I'm okay. I feel good. But what do I want? And the next card that comes is Faith. In this deck, it's called Faith. I forget what this card is called in traditional tarot. Anyway, let me just see what he says to me. When you realize who you are, your path becomes obvious to you. So if you are searching, or when you find yourself searching for whatever this cup represents for you, whatever it is that you're missing, it could be your life path, it could be your life's work, it could be anything. When you remember who you are, your path becomes visible to you. I'm being asked not to over-explain it, because each and every one of you will hear it differently. But this is a message, obviously, of faith and trust. This is a message of trusting your abilities, trusting in yourself and having faith in your abilities. Incidentally, the rabbit is looking at me, and the rabbit is all about curiosity and fear and all of that we talked about. So I feel like this is pretty much solidifying the first message about a rabbit. Let's see what else he wants to tell me. Remember what your purpose is, okay? Remember what your purpose is. And then here's what comes next. Your purpose is to love unconditionally. That is your purpose. Many of you are like, what? That's my purpose. That is your purpose. How you love, that's up to you. How you show up to the world in an embodied state, that's up to you. How you love yourself, or if you love yourself, that's up to you. Is it? I think it's up for debate, but okay, I'll go with it. Your purpose is to love. When you love, you remember what your purpose is. It's like a circular reference. Wow, this is really interesting. Oof, I'm getting choked up a little bit. Some of you who are very sensitive, you will feel it in your throat right now. There's a message here of, I want to call it being confident, but it's more than that. It's about when you know who you are, you automatically, unconditionally love yourself because you are love. It's a deep message. Therefore, if you are love, love is everywhere because we're connected. Everyone is love. That is a very philosophical message. Let's get into some practical stuff, but some of you need to hear this, okay? Also, when you love yourself enough, you seek less approval, or you don't seek as much approval. And again, if you've been hiding because you've been afraid to be ostracized, that's because you're seeking approval. The only person you need to approve, or the only person that needs to approve of you, is you. So when you approve of yourself, it doesn't matter whether anybody approves of you or not, okay? And that comes from unconditionally knowing who you are and unconditionally loving yourself. Now, as a human person, me, Joanna, my analytical mind comes in and says, well, that's not easy, loving yourself. How can you love yourself 100%? We're not asking for perfection. We are merely suggesting that this be your aim. And as long as you remember what your aim are, when you get lost, you can remind yourself to get back on track. The purpose of your life is to love. It's to love and it's to give. But the purpose of your life is also to learn how to receive unconditionally. So if you have had, some of you, challenges with giving and receiving, again, notice where the block is, okay? Where do I want to go next? Living in the now. Fears are present when we think back or when we think towards the future. I mean, yes, you can be in a fearful moment, but an anxiety or depression, an anxiety is fear of the unknown, and that's always in the future. Depression is all about depressed emotions, which is in the past, okay? When we are more in the moment, we don't feel neither anxious nor depressed. And there's a part of me, the Joanna part, that goes, oh, let me think about that. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not, so I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to analyze it later. Analyzing will do me no good right now. And analyzing is what gives me a headache, and analyzing is what gives you a headache. And over-analyzing is what gives you reason to stress. So there's a bit of a, can I say, humorous message here? Not to make fun of any difficult situations. That's not what I mean. I also have Libra. But it is to say that when you remember what your purpose is, when you remember who you are, you will automatically be stressed less. Okay, it's a heavy bookmark with this one. Heavy bookmark, okay? I'm looking at the numbers here, and as I look at the numbers, they're speaking to me. And the way they're speaking to me is that the way you see yourself right now is changing. If you see yourself as small, if you see yourself as insignificant, if you see yourself as someone who is less deserving of, you fill in the blank, if you minimize yourself, if you pretend nothing is wrong and suppress your emotions, all those aspects that I just described will fuel the way you feel about yourself and essentially how you see yourself. And your conditional thinking is shifting and changing. Perhaps it's because you are diving deep down into understanding what your conditional thinking is. And that's where the behavior comes from. And as a result of this, the card of dream time and awakening comes in. Obviously, awakening speaks for itself. Dream time to me represents venting through dreams. So for those of you who are familiar with psychology, you'll probably know that dream state is a venting mechanism for the mind. So the mind deals with what has been going on during the day and digests it during the night when we sleep. Everybody dreams. Some people don't remember their dreams, but everybody dreams. So you will notice, for some of you, that over the next little while, you will be venting through your dreams, which means you may have dreams that are heavy, dreams that are scary, or if you are used to dreaming all the time, you may start to notice that you wake up tired, not refreshed, tired, but you have no memory of what you dreamt of, which is unusual for you, okay? If that's the case, I'm being asked to say, doesn't mean that you're not dreaming, but you're dreaming about a lot of fearful stuff, okay? And it's not available to you consciously, so that you don't have to get bogged down by it. Sometimes it's best that we don't know what's being worked out, because it can unnecessarily relive some trauma. Okay, so Spirit knows what Spirit is doing, more so than we do. So don't be surprised if you have some difficulties with dream state, where you might have violent dreams or dreams of that sort. If you see dreams repeating, it is worth noting as well. That means that there's a pattern here that's happening, and over time you will begin to understand what the message is when you dream of something that's very similar. The one thing that I've always said, the best way to kind of piece together what a dream means is to remember what you felt like in the dream and what you felt like about the situation that was going on or other people, but most importantly, how you felt about yourself. But because fears are coming up here, chances are some of you may have heavy dreams and fearful dreams. That is your mind venting things out. So any suppressed emotions, any suppressed feelings, anything of that sort, I have a feeling that you are venting that out. And I keep looking at the phrase of restorative period, and I'm going, I don't know if that's restorative. But if it brings you peace, then I guess that's what it is. So what is all this for? Why are you going through this transformation? Why are you purging all this stuff? Well, because I said, what's going on over the next 6 months? Why are they doing this? What's in it for them? When we go through transitions, and when we go through moments of muck, uncomfortability, it is a lot easier to digest when there is an incentive at the end of the day. It's like, okay, I don't mind doing the hard work when I know what this is for. I may not know when this is going to happen or how it's going to happen, but at least I know what it's for. So I'm presenting this to you. This is a brand new beginning in terms of a relationship. Yes, for some of you, it's relationship with somebody else. You might all of a sudden fall in love with someone, and this may be your girl or your gal, and you're it, okay? For others of you, it is bringing peace and harmony into a relationship that you are already in, more harmony in your existing relationship. This is being on the same page. Harmony, huge. This is 2 of Cups, essentially. Incidentally, it's a number 8, but this is 2 of Cups. This also represents a very strong union. For some of you, this union is regarding work. It is a union that will support you financially or physically in some way, structurally. And this union is long-term. So, of course, this could be marriage. This could be a proposal. This could be someone you meet and they become your best friend. This is a transaction between 2 aspects. So for some of you, it is external. It's with someone else or something else. And for others this is about you. Again, what I was talking about at the beginning, when you are in harmony within yourself, when you are more or less peaceful inside, when you are not driven by an anxiety. I don't know if driven is the right word, but you get the picture. When you are more at peace, essentially, you then emit a vibration. That vibration goes out into the world and it brings friends with the same vibration. So this is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I'm a Libra too, or one of my signs is a Libra. One of my placements is a Libra. I also have a thing with my head. I tend to overanalyze a lot. So if you have been overly analytical, don't be surprised to see that your mind begins to level out a bit. Now, this isn't going to be by just coincidence that your mind begins to, stops working the way it used to be working. No, it's going to be a result of you exploring, of you doing explorative work. Perhaps hypnosis, hypnotherapy, perhaps some other form of therapy, perhaps some healing, some other form of healing, whatever it is. Also, paying attention not to be too much in the future or too much in the past, in the history, and being more in the now. I don't know about you. For me personally, I felt the feeling of being in the moment probably once or twice in the last couple years, and I was in a completely different state. It's a feeling like no other, and I actually felt it, and I realized, oh my God, that's what it feels like. It was absolutely out of this freaking world. It was so peaceful, and it was just, it's like I was able to take everything around me. It was just, my mind wasn't racing anywhere. I was just so present. So as far as I'm concerned, being in the present most of the time, to me, that is a level of mastery. And perhaps that's what you are mastering right now. Perhaps that's what you are working on. Perhaps that's how you are choosing to live your life going forward. And it doesn't mean you won't have challenges. It doesn't mean you won't have many choices or decisions. It doesn't mean things will not come up and you will be worried. But what it does mean is that you'll get back to your new norm, which is more peace in the present. Okay? It's worth saying that our future is the result of our today. And I want to be very clear what I mean by that. Our future, our physical future, is representation of our internal dialogue. And I'm getting that throat thing again. So this is some of you are going to feel this right now. It's right somewhere right here in the throat. I forgot where I was going with this. It's just a wave of energy just hit me. Okay, so this is a complete diversion. For those of you who are willing and open, if you can, close your eyes, just gonna take a nice deep breath. And I'm just going to push through some healing. Just relax. Just relax. If you are not closing your eyes, that's okay. And if you're driving, please do not close your eyes. When you get a moment, listen to this video again. I've never done this, so this is completely impromptu. I'm completely letting it out, which means I'm very vulnerable right now, but I'm saying, fuck it. I've got nothing to lose. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. And I want to do this for you. So if you benefit from this, I couldn't be more grateful. If you don't believe it, you lost nothing. The funny thing about this thing is that it's a lot about allowing. When I allow myself to do this, it just flows. But my mind is going, oh my God, what's happening? I want to control this. So there's two aspects of me happening right now. This is really strange. You guys are watching this live. I'm recording this. There's no editing going on here whatsoever. Oh. You might get emotional as well. And I hear the words, let them see you. Let them see you. And I know they're speaking to me too. So I don't know what you see when you look at me right now, but I'm being asked to let you see me. This is not comfortable at all. But this is also a message for those of you who are struggling with keeping yourself back by not allowing yourself to fully just come out, particularly if you're a healer. I will share this with you because I'm being asked to. I have not said this before. I've got 3 more signs to do. My work is changing. I am becoming aware of my healing abilities and I can no longer stop it. It is coming out of me fast and furious. So my work will change. What happened right now was something that was just impromptu, just to help me pop out of that bubble of insecurity and just let it come out. So I'm saying this to you. You're the first ones who are hearing this. I'm coming out of the closet. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm coming out of the closet and my name will also be changing as time goes on. I will no longer be calling myself a medium. I'm a healer. And as I say this, I have a very difficult time owning that right now. And I'm not saying this about me because I want to brag about me. This is a message for you. Every word that I utter out of my mouth about me, it's always because some of you will relate to this right now. And it's so important for me to give you this, even though it makes me bloody uncomfortable. It's getting better now, but it's interesting. Okay? So over the next few months, you will notice these things will happen. If you have had a session with me over the last month or so, you probably already know what I'm talking about. You received the healing. It's happening. I don't know how I do it, but it's happening. So I will not be calling myself a medium. I will be calling myself something else. I'm not quite sure what that is yet because I haven't grown into it yet and I haven't quite owned it. And if I can't own it, I can't really express it for your benefit. Okay. Wow. Talk about mental transformation. Now, I do realize it's a very long message. I hope that you're okay with that. It's compensating for not having August messages, but I will leave this with you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you for being you, and thank you for listening to this message. This work is very important to me. It is absolutely one of my highlights in my life, my family and what I do. This is what I breathe. It's not even what I do, it's who I am. And I want to get emotional. Okay. Vulnerability is interesting. All right. let me wish you best of luck over the next little while. I'll see you again in October, maybe even before. Who knows? Until then, please take care of yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't be foolish, but don't be afraid. And always remember why you're here. You're here to love. That's your purpose. How you love, that's up to you. All right? With all that said, I wish you best of luck, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.